All right, here we are, Strawberry Flats, heading up the trail here. We're going up Skyline II to Mowich Camp today. I've never been up there, so you'll just have to follow along with me while we travel it together. It is currently 20 degrees. We're at 1,373 meters, and I do not know what the elevation gain is today, but according to the map, it's 12.5 kilometers and maybe 500 to 700 meters of elevation gain. We will check that out on my GPS when I get there. Off we go. We're loading up. All right, there's the pack, ready to go. We just got to load up. And this is the trail we're going to go on from Strawberry Flats. And here, we just missed Fat Dog. That was yesterday. If you've watched any of my videos from before, I was up at Heather Trail when the Fat Dog race was actually running, and they were running by me. And it was very cool. Amazing athletes they are. We'll probably still see some of the flagging along the trail. I'm not quite sure the route they took. Yeah, let's get going. Last time we were here, we were camping at Lightning Lakes. Tina and I went for a walk with Andy the puppy, and we went up to the old ski resort, which is straight ahead. But here, we're going to take the Skyline Trail this way. All right, it's still flat. And here we go, off this way. A trail I've never been on before. Woohoo! We're 1 kilometer in. Now it is starting to go uphill. Although in the video it's really hard to tell. It's a beautifully shaded area on what is a very sunny blue sky day. We're at 2 kilometers, and I believe from the map and from other sources this is the last and only water source along the trail until we get to Mowich. And it is still running as of mid-August. And the trail has been not too hard so far. It's not that steep. And up we go. All right, 3 kilometers in, we're still in the forest. Starting to get a little steeper, but it's still what I would call moderate. Not that I'm not getting my heart rate up, because I have a full overnight pack on, so yeah, it's a good workout. Looking forward to getting up to the ridge and seeing the views. Woohoo! Well, we're 4 kilometers in. Nice video of my feet. Yeah, I don't usually get blisters. As a matter of fact, I haven't got blisters in years, and I've never gotten blisters with these relatively new Zamberlan, the traditional boots. But when I feel a hot spot, I deal with it right away. Even though I didn't want to stop here, I wanted to giddy up and keep going. We're about 4 kilometers in. It's been uphill, and what happens to me in uphill is my heels dig into the back and they start to get a little hot. So I just put on got a little roll of this Leuco tape that I brought with me. Of course, the trusty little multi-tool, Gerber dime. Got some, and I'm putting a preemptive piece on my heel to make sure that I do not get blisters. Got one foot done. Let's get the other foot done. Well, let's get going. It is peaceful up here. And we're starting to see our first signs of meadows and wildflowers. We're past 4 kilometers. And I think most of the uphill is done. I think there's about 100 meters of gentle climbing left to do to get to the ridge. Woohoo! Have I ever said woohoo before? Yeah, probably. Okay, this is looking interesting. I'm liking it. Some wildflowers. Oh, watch where I'm going. Oh, and especially the fireweed. That's among one of my favorites. And we're still going up. These tall white things, hang on. Here's one right here. There's a lot of them in bloom right now. I don't know what they are, but maybe when I get home I'll look it up. And then there's the lupin. Miscellaneous other things. All right, we're starting to open up here. We're getting higher. And we're going around that peak you see. Actually, no, we're going to the bottom of it. And then we're turning right this way. We just passed the 5-kilometer mark. And it feels like we're very near the top. Yay. My GPS said 5 kilometers a while ago, but here is the 5K marker. And here, the views are starting to open up. Yeah. And a little glimpse. Yosemite Peak behind there in the US, which I will be getting close to tomorrow, or at least the plan is to do that. There's my shadow. Another look. This is looking back from where we came from. And panning across. And I do believe that mountain there is somewhere near where I have to camp tonight. We'll see. We're at the junction back to Lightning Lakes. And a view down the valley there. That lake, I forget which name of the lake is. It looks kind of dry down there. And there's Yosemite again. And Snow Peak, which I believe is where we're going. Well, we're up to a bit of a viewpoint here. I hope it's not too sketchy, because I'm kind of afraid of heights. Oh yeah, I've seen this one before in different videos. Oh, crazy town. Yeah. Who wants to go out there? On me. A bit more of a view from this viewpoint. Which, yeah, I know, I'm too chicken to go out there. Who else wants to go out there? There we go. Panning around to our destination for tonight. Somewhere over there. Woohoo. Woohoo again. Can you count how many times I say woohoo in this video? Maybe. We finally come out of the trees again. And I just passed the high point, but I didn't take my camera out until now. And then here's the views along the trail. Oh, and there's a lake down below. And Yosemite, off in the USA. And a destination up ahead. Well, apparently this is where to get water. I read that it's 800 meters before the campsite, and that the water in the campsite is probably dried up by now. And this is merely a trickle. You can just hear it. This nice little trickle was just enough to fill up my water bags. Ooh. All right, here's a little view of Mowich. Really not sure how to pronounce it. Where I'm camped for the night. And unfortunately, this is as far as I'm going to make it today. I'm not going up to Yosemite Ridge. And that is Yosemite Ridge. That's where we'd be going if I was going up there. And from there you can see down to Ross Lake, apparently, or hike down to the US border right by Yosemite Mountain. Another time maybe. Not much here, really. Like we're down in the valley, so there's no view. There's another camper over there. Yeah, we're hiking back out through the meadows. Woo! Woo, count number unknown. Beautiful sunny morning on this beautiful trail. More of the meadows. Some views of, must be the North Cascades in USA. And then the gorgeous meadow that we are traversing. Yeah. I missed the spot with all the butterflies. Oh, this is a narrow trail. The peak of wildflowers is actually past, but it's still pretty nice and green out here. And it's uphill and an exposed sun, and I'm huffing and puffing. What could be better? Passing through more meadows. Let's see what we got over here. Oh, look at that. That's pretty spectacular. Views of the North Cascades again. Can't see it here, but this is really steep down here. Hard to show that in a video. And Lone Goat is the leftmost peak there. We got to go on the shoulder of that and around it to get out of here. Let's go. View of Hozameen again. And that is one of the Lightning Lakes chain down there. I don't remember which or what the name of that one is. Thunder, Strike, Flash. Don't know. All right, that looks like the ski resort. Valley Park Ski Resort down there. All right, there's a bit of a look. Now the look is over. We're coming up towards the summit of Snowcap Mountain. And more of these views do not disappoint. Well, we're at the high point on the trail. Just under 1,900 meters. And we're going around the corner. So this is the last look at Hozameen and this Cascades. I don't know if we get to see Mount Frosty along here or not. But it's in the direction that I'm panning around to now. And this is where we're going. Just stop for a lunch break here at the summit-ish. I'm not going up to the top of, oh, I got it wrong a minute ago. I think this is Snowcap Mountain. We'll just pan around for, yeah, up here, about 80 meters climb. I'm not going to do it. Not today. Here's a view down the valley with a lake way, way, way down below. Or at least to me it looks like it's way below. Maybe not in the video, it doesn't. Ah, yes. This hike has been harder than, for me, at least, than I expected. I am so tired. And this is the end. Pretty soon we should see my car. There it is.